Is your kid an athletic dropout? That is what we are talking about today. Athletic dropouts.
Or activities in general. Like they started violin and then didn't want to do it anymore.
I'm in the middle of this right now. My daughter has joined Rock Girls, which is like a hip-hop dance class, trying to get some rhythm into my kid. She loved it for 5 weeks, and then I think another friend of hers said she's doing gymnastics. Now Maddie hates Rock Girls, and I drag her kicking and screaming every Monday, and she gets there, and she is foul.
How things work in my house is that when you sign up for something, you do finish it. I've already paid for it. I would say, like for Maddie, what I would do is you have to finish Rock Girls and you do gymnastics next time. We also have rules around every child has to do an instrument and every child has to do a sport every season.
Holy
and they can
moly.
choose. They can choose that. But with the older kids now, if they want to, I find like if they want to miss hockey, I make them pay me. Because I'm like, I paid for your hockey. If you're going to miss this practice because you'd rather go to your friend's birthday party, then you have to give me $15.
I think that's important, and I think it's accountability and responsibility. And I know my mother was like this with all three, my brother, my sister, and myself. If we started a sport, if we started an activity, we had to finish it, because you need to learn that you have to finish what you start. And if you're allowed to get away with just quitting halfway through something, things are going to get hard every once in a while, and you need to learn that you have to persevere and push through it. And it sucks, but you made a choice, and when you commit to something, you have to follow through on that commitment.
It is a good reminder to them that we all do stuff that we don't want to do. Sorry about your luck, Buttercup. It makes them think, I think, harder too about not being so flippant about picking their activities. They're very thoughtful about their activities because they know they're going to be stuck with it for the full session. They're just doing something because a friend's doing it. They may learn the hard way, and that's not exactly how it works out, but they'll only make that mistake once.
It's all about learning, and I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach our children how to not be an asshole.
So here's the other thing. One, I think maybe later, she's 5. She might like this activity a little later when she's a little older. Right now, maybe it's not her thing. If I keep dragging her, this is, Mom brought this up to me and I thought it was a fair point. If I keep dragging her, and if you saw me on Gerard, it is against her will. Is she going to just hate it and never return to it? Secondly, is she disruptive to the rest of the class and all those other parents who are paying for their kids while my kid is rolling around on the floor?
If she's disruptive, she's 5 years old, then that's not acceptable. I would be having a big talk there about that. If she's disruptive, there would be consequences to it.
Yeah, I think pulling her out is wrong, because then she knows that she can get away with it. From now on, she's just going to say, well, if I don't want to do something, I'm just going to kick and scream, and eventually they're going to give in.
And it works. We cannot let the inmates run the prison.
I'm not cheersing, I'm not done. I still have a problem. What would a consequence be for a 5-year-old who is going to like a dance class, tired, it's the end of a school day, park day, and then...
Well, I think that's a really good point. You want to position her, you want to set her up for success. So you make sure she has a snack before she goes. You make sure all those things, that she's had a good night's sleep the night before. I would use some positive reinforcement whenever she goes and she doesn't kick up a fuss. I'd be stopping for a hot chocolate on the way home and be like, you know what, we're stopping because you were so cool today.
But don't promise it beforehand.
No,
Then it's a bribe.
And on the other side of things, if she needs to be consequences, like, guess what? No watching Pound Puppies or Paw Patrol. Guess what? You don't get to watch that, or you don't want to take something she likes that's meaningful and take it away.
Putting the toys in timeout. We did that. You didn't see that? You go back. You learn what a horribly mean person I can be.
Okay, these are really good tips, and I would love to hear from other moms. What do you do? If your kid signs up for an activity or a sport and pulls the ripcord halfway through, do you accommodate them, or do you tough love it out?
And what have we missed?
I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments and subscribe, and look for us every week where we have more discussions on some unsolicited advice. Cheers!
Cheers!